Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to know it's done and stay in the state of wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back and good morning. Powerful video. I want to talk about this client who has returned. The prodigal son has returned after about 5 months since we first talked. And so he reminded me of our first meeting, our first session a few months ago. And he said these were his initial questions. How do I know that it's done? I struggle with staying in the wish fulfilled. But he goes, Tom, I was miserable. I was living on the couch of a buddy. I didn't have a job. I had quit university because I didn't have the money to continue. And my girlfriend and I broke up. He said it was really more me, right? She finally broke up with him because she wanted to help him. She wanted to support him no matter what. He goes, but I was so miserable that I just couldn't be happy with her. And so she just had no choice but to let me be. And now they're back together. He says he's making 6 figures for the first time in his life. So he's making a 6-figure salary. He said that's a base that he's got plus commission. So it's open-ended. He started school again, and he's getting through his studies. And he said his life has completely changed. He was struggling he says he was really struggling with knowing that his desired reality really exists and that it's already done, right? It's really that faith in that unseen reality. I want to hit this because it changed his entire life. Once he really embodied that as that I am awareness, that everything already exists within him, that if he can desire it, if he can imagine it, if he can think it, then it's done. It's already his. It really clicked with him that he couldn't even imagine it or think of it or desire it unless it already existed. That's why he was having this trouble of staying in the state of wish fulfilled. Wish fulfilled is your natural state. I am that I am is your natural state, knowing that fulfillment. Remember, because you wouldn't even be able to imagine, assume, or even think of it unless there was a version of you already experiencing living that reality. We've talked about that your desire is a spillover from other realities, that your desire is actually the conviction that it's done. Right? He was in a state of desiring things to be different and looking around at the horizontal experience and seeing that they're not. Instead of looking at that desire, he was looking at the desire as evidence of what he is not, of what he doesn't have, of non-fulfillment, versus evidence of fulfillment, evidence that he's already that reality, that if you can desire it, you already are that. Do you hear the difference? You can't want or desire anything that's not already yours or within you. So your desire is evidence that you're already that. It's not evidence that you're not. It's not evidence that you're in a state of lack. It's not any of that. But that's how he was looking at desire. Desiring things to be different. Desiring to have more, but not feeling or moving to it or not believing that he can be that. In other words, wanting and desiring something is evidence that it's done. It's yours. You are that I am. You already have it. That's what he moved to. That desiring, that divine urge, that yearning for things to be different, that craving, right, that he was looking at as being miserable, was actually that evidence that he's already everything he wants to be. Wow, that's powerful. So to desire a state is to have it. That's why Neville said that. You couldn't desire it unless you already had it. Desire equals fulfillment. Desire equals conviction. It's not evidence of who you're not. It's not evidence that I am not. It's not evidence that you don't have what you want. It's evidence that you are it. Desire is the divine urge of all that is, all that you are, to know itself experientially as all that is. It's to know what you already know experientially. It's for you to experience another aspect of all that you are. Another part of that 0.0001% of all that you are. To see, to perceive, and create reality through another of your infinite identities and corresponding parallel alternative realities. You get to decide who you are, and there's a corresponding parallel alternative reality with that identity. That's the whole idea of what correspondence means. Vibration means you vibrate or correspond to that desired reality. That's what he did. I'm really excited about this. So here he was, right, unemployed, living on his buddy's couch, not really, pushing this great girl that he was with away from him. Right, being miserable, looking at the past frame that, yeah, things haven't changed and they still haven't changed. Although I want them to. I want that 6-figure job. I want to finish school. I want to be there. And so he's here looking at the horizontal, desiring things to be different, but not seeing it differently. Not realizing that to desire it, to even think of it, to imagine it means it's already there. Do you see it? You're already all of those things. That's the multidimensional you. You live at the center of all those realities. You live at the center of all that potential, all those possibilities. So when you desire it, that's spillover from those other versions of you already living that life, already experiencing what you desire. And you just got to decide to move to it, to correspond to it, to declare it, to assume it now. I am that I am, with absolute faith and conviction. That's the faith of a mustard seed, right? This is where he was, identifying with the linear horizontal experience of non-fulfillment, where desire is evidence of I am not and I don't have it, where desire is evidence of non-fulfillment versus being evidence and the conviction of fulfillment. That's what desire really is. But here, in the vertical, do you see it? Is identifying with the multidimensional identity of I am. Desire is the evidence, and conviction, it's already yours. It is the evidence. It is the conviction. It is the absolute faith of a mustard seed. Woo! Powerful. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to the mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible to you. Matthew 17:20. Jesus demonstrating that it's absolute faith. It's not a small amount of faith. It's not that when you desire something, that's absolute conviction, absolute faith of a mustard seed. Right? I am that I am, who is all identities and who exists in all realities. Do you see it? That's the absolute faith of a mustard seed. That I exist in all realities. That I exist in all versions of myself right now. That I can declare any of those. It's not a small amount of faith. It's absolute faith and conviction. Right? I am who I desire and want to be. I am who I imagine myself to be. I am who I assume myself to be. I am everything, everywhere, all at once, right now. That's what desire is. It's absolute conviction. Right? And then you move like he did. He shifted realities. He shifted to an alternative parallel identity in reality. It's not that you move the mountain. It's just that you move to where the mountain's already moved. That's what he did. So powerful today. Now faith, and this is in Hebrews 11:1, where Neville Goddard talks about this and other spiritual teachers. Now faith is the substance or the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your desire is that evidence, is that substance, that I am that already. That's what that means. It's absolute faith. It's the absolute complete faith of a mustard seed. Faith is substance. It's that substance within you, it's that unseen reality. That's what faith is, that it already exists, that you are already that. And it's the evidence. That is the evidence. Your desire is the evidence of that unseen. This is what Neville says about it. The very reason for the law of assumption is contained in this. In other words, contained in this scripture verse. Right now, faith is the substance of things and the evidence of things not seen. It is the evidence. It is the substance. It's part of you. It's all that you are. You are already all those realities. Right? It's feeling that I am this within you. That's the substance we're talking about. You couldn't even desire it, assume it if you weren't already it. if that substance, if you didn't think, if you didn't live, move, and have your being in that substance. That is the evidence, right? That's powerful. So if there were not a deep-seated, this is what Neville says, awareness, I am, that which you hoped for had substance. In other words, that unseen reality exists. It has substance. It has metaphysical substance. It's already there, right? And was possible of attainment, it would be impossible to assume the consciousness of being or having it. It'd be impossible to desire it or imagine it or assume the consciousness of it if it didn't already exist as a substance, a real reality, the only reality in your imagination within you. Wow, that's powerful. That's your awareness of being. That conviction and awareness, in other words, that substance or faith, is already within you and it's who you are. We always ask that question, well, how do I increase my faith? How do I stay in the vertical? I am vertical. How do I increase my conviction? How do I get that conviction? That's who you are. That's your awareness of being. That's the substance or faith. It's already within you and you are already that. That's why Jesus didn't directly answer his disciples when they asked him, increase our faith. They were pleading to him, increase our faith. Jesus didn't even answer it. He said, if you had the faith as a mustard seed, knowing that they already have absolute faith, that their I am awareness is already that faith of a mustard seed, that if they desire something, that is faith and conviction that it already exists within them. Right? If you had the faith of a mustard seed, right, you would move that mulberry tree, right? You would tell that mulberry tree, go in the sea, and it would obey you. Faith is the inner perception, I am that I am, of that still unseen reality, but just as real. It has substance. In fact, it's more real than what you're experiencing in 3D reality. It is the ultimate reality. That's faith. Wow. Faith is your awareness, I am, and conviction, I am that already. Your awareness, I am, completely unconditioned by anything. And your conviction, I am that already, that if you can desire, imagine, assume, or even think of it, that invisible, unseen reality already exists within you. Lack of faith is I am not. That was like my client. I am not that. I am not this. I am miserable. Non-existence is impossible. Right? I am not is impossible. It's a disbelief in the existence of that which you desire. Do you see it? When you're not believing, when you're doubting, you're disbelieving that your desire exists. But if you desire it, it must exist. There's only existence. There's only I am. When you doubt it and say I am not, you're doubting your true nature. Your I am. That's why doubt and fear never feels good. Right? Faith is the link to everything you want. When you desire it, that desire means it's already within you. That's what faith means. And that leads you to the unfolding or the 3D manifestation or the experience in 3D reality. Having that faith. Remember, it's all fulfillment. When you desire it, to desire it is to have it. That's fulfillment. Faith is the conviction within you that I am that already. If I can desire it, I must be it. And then it unfolds in 3D as a 3D manifestation, but it's all fulfillment along the way. It's never about being in non-fulfillment ever. Right? That is the 3D linear, that's looking from the 3D linear perspective of if I desire something, I must be unfulfilled. Instead of if you desire it, it equals absolute conviction. If you desire it, it already exists. If you desire it, it means you already are it. So it goes from fulfillment to fulfillment to fulfillment, right? That's how to know and stay in the state of wish fulfilled. You're already in it. And it's your refusal to believe it, as Neville Goddard says, is the only reason why you don't see it. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel. We just released a massive video yesterday on the membership channel. Be sure to check it out. If you're a member, check it out. If you're not a member, check it out. There's a link below if you want to check it out and you want to join. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom with Be Something Wonderful in the studios in Las Vegas. Until next time, we'll see you soon.